He is Baby Keem. After a long 5-year wait after the Melodic Blue comes out, Baby Keem releases his second studio album. Now, I like Melodic Blue. I didn't love it like, it seemed like a lot of people did, but I did really, one thing that I think is indisputed and not up for debate is that Baby Keem knows how to take risks. I think you can see his influence, and you can also see how many people he has influenced with his style. When it comes to Baby Keem's music, you've got these very large backing tracks and beats that go into his music that have very heavy 808s. And then you also have that like slower melodic style stuff as well. The flow switches are always insane. The melodies are always insane. The range, for lack of a better word, is always very impressive when it comes to Baby Keem. So 5 years later, after the Melodic Blue comes out, there's a little bit of a downtime. I know after Melodic Blue came out, there was a gigantic tour with Kendrick Lamar and Baby Keem. From what I understand, I know it was like a huge tour, especially overseas. Yeah, it's the Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers tour, where he was the opening act for Kendrick. Also, his song "Family Ties" won Best Rap Performance, which obviously is well deserved in my opinion. And then there was also the surprise release of the Hillbillies single for Kendrick and Baby Keem. And I actually really like that song, The Hillbillies. I know a lot of people dislike it. I am under the assumption that it was kind of a track to make fun of the song Sticky by Drake, but I really enjoyed it. I think I enjoy the Hillbillies a little bit more than the song Sticky. And then after that, of course, there is the whole feud that happened in the summer of 2024. And so Baby Keem kind of lays low a little bit. And then here we are back again with another studio release called Casino. Now, I think the rollout for this album was pretty incredible. I watched all of the Boo Man documentaries, which really goes and explains Baby Keem's childhood of moving from California down to Las Vegas, and kind of explains his family life, where it seemed like he was neglected from his immediate parents and was raised by his grandmother, which then his grandmother has passed away recently. And so it seems like a lot of the elements of this album are very Vegas themed, obviously, which I'm a big fan of. I'm a big fan of all the positive things that happen in Vegas, and it seems like this album has a spin on that, that obviously relates immediately back to Baby Keem's life, which is, not that positive. He sees a slot machine and it's not a positive thing. It's very much a negative thing, which of course makes complete sense. But yeah, a 10-day lead up to the rollout, which I think again was handled perfectly. Also, it seems like Baby Keem kind of took to heart what some people were saying online, and what sort of the narrative was with his career is that he was kind of his cousin is a top 5 artist of our generation, especially in hip hop and R&B. And so people kind of thought that he maybe have a little bit of Nepo, like a little bit of a Nepo baby type thing. Like, of course you made it big. Your cousin is one of the biggest rappers in the world. But I think he kind of dives deeper into that with this rollout documentaries that were put out. And, it is obvious if you sit down for a second and actually use logic in your brain that, he was making waves prior to Kendrick even being involved. I think Baby Keem's first project, Dive for My Bitch is what it's called, from 2019. I think that was already making waves prior to any of this Family Ties, Range Brothers type stuff that was happening. I think that was prior to PG Lang as well. He was already huge into production, big into making that style of music and making a wave for himself prior to being signed by PG Lang and eventually getting a bunch of different Kendrick Lamar cosigns. But diving into Casino in general, there was a really nice release album listening party that was streamed, which I just assumed was going to be maybe Baby Keem in the studio listening to the album prior to anyone else being able to listen to it, and kind of capitalizing on that watch party, listen party meta that's going around. But no, it was like a full live performance. We had a couple songs that were done live by Baby Keem, and then a few that were just listened to live. And the visuals were really nice. I think PG Lang has done incredible with, I think we had the Pop Out that was produced by PG Lang, and then this as well produced by PG Lang. And I just think if this is the standard going forward, I mean, we're in for a really good couple years. Now let's talk about the album itself. It starts off with a nice intro song talking about the pressures of creating a new sound and being the guy in the family whenever, the family doesn't have much. Like, he's starting to feel a little bit of the pressures of being that guy. And it's very nice, very lyrical, and a really good intro track. Then we get into second track, Casino, the title track of the album. And this is where we get classic Baby Keem. I mean, the production is gigantic. It is huge. There's a really nice build up. And once those bass notes hit, I mean, legitimately, the first time I watched it, it's on camera, I was actually jumping up and down. I'm not ashamed to admit, I'll jump up and down. You get the first part of the track with very big instrumentals and a nice flow, and then you get the squeaky voice Baby Keem in the second part, and you can already start to tell that the issues that he had with his mom, and then obviously the heartbreak with the passing of his grandma. They're going to be huge elements of this entire album because they're already featured in the first two tracks, and it's a short album to begin with. It's like 33-ish minutes or something like that. Yeah, 37 minutes. I looked my pops in the eye and made the decision that it's best to remain estranged. I mean, that's a great way to end that track as well. I mean, the track is full, it makes you dance, but he's also saying some shit too. Next up, we have the song Birds and the Bees. The music video just dropped the day before recording this. And I think this is one of the most complete songs on the album. The beat is very good and very catchy. The hook is bouncy. It's a great song for the car and to drive along with. I think this track is even underrated in a sense. I think this is one of the biggest tracks on the album, and I'm glad that he was able to release a music video for this one prior to what you would assume would be Good Flirts or House Money. And speaking of Good Flirts, we've got the first features on the album. We've got Momo Boyd on the album and also Kendrick Lamar. I was unfamiliar with Momo Boyd. I'm not gigantic. I'm trying to get my knowledge up a little bit more on the R&B side of the world of music. But Boyd is in a group called Infinity Song, which I've checked out a little bit of their music. Yeah, Infinity Song is less of R&B and more of like a soft rock, it seems like a soft, soulful rock style band, and it's really worth the listen if you have a chance. But she has really good vocals on this song. This song is being memed to infinity because I think Baby Keem's verse at the very beginning is really good, and then I think it transitions really well into Momo Boyd, and then it goes to Kendrick Lamar, and this is probably the most debated part of the entire album. Now, I like the Kendrick feature. The more I listen to it, the more I like it, because you're less shocked by the rubbing on the booty, grabbing on the booty, kissing on the booty, touching on the booty, flicking on the booty, licking on the booty. You're kind of desensitized to that after the fourth or fifth listen. And it is nice to have lyricism on the album that is legitimate lyricism. I also do like that Kendrick brings his vocal stack style back on this. I didn't hear it a lot on GNX, but I'll also have to go back and re-listen. But when he does the distraction, he kind of vocal stacks on it, and it sounds that it's got that like very unique Kendrick feel. I actually like it. I don't mind it. I think when artists like Kendrick and artists like, any of the biggest rap artists in the world, I think when they do these kind of, I guess you could say, corny parts of the songs, kissing on your booty, licking on your booty, touching on your I think they know that that's going to be talked about. I've kind of thought that since like Hotline Bling, that like obviously you're going to put out something that's weird and semi cringy, and it's still going to be talked about. Like, and if the song is being talked about, for better or for worse, something is being done right. And at the end of the day, the song is good. So at first I squinted my eyes a little bit at this verse, but as time has gone on, it's not going to make the top 25 Kendrick features of all time. But I think it does add to the song. I don't think it necessarily takes away. Next up, we have a song called House Money, which I believe is a top 20 song of the year so far. I think if I was to burn you guys a mixtape right now, this song would definitely be on it. I mean, it's stanky. It makes you move. It makes you motivated as well. This would be a great song to work out to. I think all three of his verses on House Money are incredible, and Kendrick being on the hook, I smell something. I mean, it does make you feel like the man. I mean, this is that song for me on this entire album. This song right here. Next up, we have a song that I was not expecting on the album. One of my favorite tracks from Casino called I Am Not a Lyricist. Now, when the title track is called I Am Not a Lyricist and it is that bluntly put, you think maybe it's going to be a dance. It's one of two things. It's going to be a weird song with that baby Keem shit, you know, where he's all over the place. Or maybe he's going to try to see what it would be like to be a lyricist if he was interested in that sort of thing, which is more of the route that he goes down. I believe this is the best verse in Baby Keem's entire catalog. Maybe there's some old school stuff that I'm not well versed in, no pun intended. But this track is actually phenomenal. This song is deep. It is a heavy in storytelling. It tells his childhood pretty much from his perspective. There's no squeaky voice. There's no big instrumentals. It is a piano, some drums, and him rapping. I'm not the biggest fan of spoken word. I've said it before. I'm not the biggest fan of that. So I really wish this would have had a third verse in the track. But regardless, I think the first two verses are good enough. And if you like the art of like the spoken word type stuff, then you probably think this track is complete in and of itself. But I Am Not a Lyricist, really good song. Definitely check it out. And now it's time to get to banging. Too much sex appeal. Too much sex appeal. Is there such thing as too much sex appeal? I love the fact that Sex Appeal, the song, has the money sign in replacement of the S in sex. And also it's featuring Too Short, who also rocks the money sign in the S in short. So very, very good track. Probably the most fun track on the entire album. This is a song you get to dance into. I imagine that West Coast style strut that everyone was doing a couple years ago. I can imagine that going perfectly with this song. This song could have also been a single, and it should also have a music video, in my opinion. I'm not the craziest Too Short fan, but I think, it's really awesome having him on such a West Coast style instrumental. And then also I think he complements the song very, very well. This song is happy. This song gets you moving, and it just is a feel-good song to get your body pumping. Now, another song that is talked about is Highway 95 Part 2. Now, it seems to be a second part to the song Highway 95 off of his previous album, which was an amazing track. So the standards are set. I didn't like this song pretty much at all. Now, I like the lyrics of it. I like what he's trying to say. It doesn't bring me in at all. It doesn't increase the listenability of the album. I think up to this point, there is not a skip. I think every track is great and there is not a skip at all. But this one, once you get a minute and a half and he has the same melody pattern and there's nothing really exciting about it, it is hard to stay present for that, no matter what he's saying. Now, that being said, I haven't cruised down the highway, quite literally, in a convertible with this song playing, which I'm guessing that would probably fit the vibe the best. I haven't done that. So maybe I'll have to do that. But in the meantime, that song is a skip for me. And then we finally get the weird shit from Baby Keem. Now, whether you consider how he raps just in general weird or not, there hasn't been, if you don't consider that weird, there hasn't been a weird element to the album yet. And there was a bunch of weird shit on his previous projects, in my opinion. So I'm thinking the entire time, like, when is it coming? And here it is. Circus Freestyle. Now, this is typical Baby Keem. We've got 3 beat switches. We've got like 4 different melodies. And we've got the end that I figured would be the part that everybody talks about, where he starts rapping like a caveman. Now, am I going to be pulling up Circus Freestyle often? No, I will not be doing that. In the same way that I cut Range Brothers off right after the second verse, when that weird ass top of the morning part comes in, I will be skipping Circus Circus Freestyle, but I do respect it and do not take that as me saying that this track is bad. If you like Baby Keem, you want Baby Keem shit. It's that weird conversation piece that is in his tracks, and this is the song for that. 5 minutes of rapping and flowing, and then ooga booga wooga ho ho. You're gonna get that part. It does make you smile, and what's music all about if it's not gonna make you smile or cry? Now, the next two tracks are very, very underrated in my opinion. I think Dramatic Girl was added to the playlist immediately. It doesn't even feel like it's not even a hip hop song at all. It almost feels like a pop record, or like what could, be a pop record if someone else made the track in the first place. But the music is really good, and the vocals that he uses, it's not like that squeaky Baby Keem that you get, but what does he say? When I drew blood, the way he says that, it's like addicting almost. And then the last track, No Blame, I think is probably the most underrated song on the entire album. It's very, very, very good. I mean, he's got some lyrics in this track that are like gut wrenching almost. He is still talking about the same things in this track that he talks about throughout the entire album, which is the passing of his grandmother, and also the issues that he has with his immediate parents, and just all the pressures that he has felt, especially over the past six years is what it seems. I almost did it. I don't know if y'all heard that. I almost said it. In the past 7 years since his blow up, he's felt a lot of pressure because he essentially came from nothing. This track is basically a letter to his mom saying that he doesn't necessarily accept what happened, but he doesn't blame her for how he was treated and how his childhood kind of happened. It's gut wrenching, man. And there was a point in this album where I realized that he was kind of talking about the same things, which usually deducts from the listening experience of an album, is if every track is kind of talking about the same thing. But at the end of the day, this album is 11 songs long, and it's obviously him working through a part of his life. And at the end of the day, we're not talking about selling drugs and fucking bitches and the typical stuff and big boy talk pretty much the entire time. Like, we're talking about some real shit. So it is kind of a change of pace, and I do appreciate it. I think he was able to get his story across. He was also able to dodge the nepotism allegations and deliver on 11 solid tracks for a second album. Was it worth a 5-year wait? I'm not sure if this is a 5-year wait style project, but it was still very good, and there are many, many tracks that are going to be played through for the rest of the year, I would say. I'll probably give this album an enchanted iron pickaxe. I mean, it's very solid. It gets the job done. There's a bunch of replayability on this album, and I have been playing House Money until my speakers are falling off. Really good album. Really appreciate all the thought that went into it. Let me know what album you're looking forward to the most from 2026, and we'll see you guys in the next one. All right. Peace.